Hey everyone, in this video I want to show you how I prepare my Back to Eden garden and how to plant potatoes in a Back to Eden garden. Alright guys, one of the first things you have to do in preparing your garden is get the weeds out, right? Get your soil ready. I have a Back to Eden garden, so I don't have to get my soil ready. It's ready all the time. But occasionally you'll get something like this growing out of your garden. So what do? That's it. It was that easy. So now I'm ready. See, the weeds just come right out. Any little grass, weed you have, roots and all. See how easy that is? It pulls right out. Now, I only have a few of these weeds coming up, and so I'm just doing it by hand. It's no big deal. You can use a rake. Trying to get this guy to help me, but he doesn't want to. All right, I went down to my local feed store and I went and bought some seed potatoes. So I bought about 15 pounds. I'm only going to probably put a couple of rows here. It's best to use seed potatoes. They are certified to be virus and disease free. So if you have a feed store around your town or whatever, get those. The feed store I went to just had Redskin potatoes. I'm not sure what type of Redskin they are. They didn't really say. But I'm going to try them out, see how good they are. You could use grocery store potatoes, but make sure they are organic. The non-organic, they usually spray a growth inhibitor. So these little tubers, these islets won't start sprouting. They won't, in fact. So best to use organic. Leave them out. Once these little things start sprouting like this, you can put the whole potato on the ground, or you can cut in between them and make 2 or 3, you know, depending how many islets or these little tubers you have. You can make more potatoes, more potato plants. If you do cut them, that part that you cut, let it dry, let the potatoes dry, and that part that you cut will become dry and kind of leathery. Then they're ready to plant. Don't cut them and plant them right away. That's a no-no. All you need to do here is make yourself a little trench, or if you just got a few potatoes, just dig out an area until you hit the ground, okay? Generally, you know, mine is maybe 6 inches or so. If you got 4 to 6 inches, take the wood chips out of the way till you hit about ground level, and make yourself a trench like this, or dig it out, make a hole, and bring it to close to ground level. And all you gotta do is set your potatoes in there, okay? Space them apart about a foot apart, and then we'll just cover them back up. Okay, we are essentially ready to plant the potatoes. I went down until I reached right about where the wood chips end, and I'm hitting the ground. So it's very simple. Get your seed potato. Make sure the majority of them are pointing up into the air, because that's where they're going to go. They're going to go up. So just put them in the ground like that, about a foot apart. Now I bought about 15 pounds, and I hope I have enough. But basically a foot apart, and they have to be covered. When you cover them, make sure they're covered at least 4 inches, maybe 5 inches or more. And the reason for that is, you ever heard of potatoes being green, and there's a toxic or a poisonous alkaloid that builds up in there? You could do a little research on that. I don't know a whole lot about it. But what I do know is the reason why they turn green, a lot of potatoes, is because they're exposed to the sun. They're too close to the surface, they're not covered. So it's a good idea to make sure they're deep enough and cover them up and keep them covered, and you won't have that problem. All right, now I'm ready to cover the potatoes up. I ended up with 43 potatoes, and it brought me to about right here. So the rest here, I'm just going to cover the chips back up, and later I'll plant something else here. So now we're ready to cover them up, and when you plant them, of course, make sure the sprouts are sticking up, okay? Because they need to come up, and that will be your plant. And then the roots will come out of the potato. All right, so let's cover these up. All right, all I have left to do now is water it. I already marked my rows. I put some stakes on there. I just marked potatoes. I know I have roughly 2 feet between each row, so I know I can step in between here. You don't want to step on the potato row, because obviously you'll crush the potato. It might hurt it, so you don't want to do that. So let's water it. Now, since these are wood chips, it hasn't rained here in quite a while, so things are pretty dry here, except for when you get down deep where the potatoes are. That part there was very moist and broken down. It was nice. But the upper part, where it hasn't broken down yet, was kind of dry. So, but usually after a rain here, I'm good for a week at least. Once in a while, check the moisture in the soil, or in this case, the wood chips, and if they seem a little dry, just water them. The nice thing about the Back to Eden garden is obviously the wood chips retain the moisture, and they keep the ground moist underneath. You just want to give it a good soaking, and you can never really overwater this, because the nice thing about this is the potatoes are sitting on top of the ground. So it doesn't matter how much you water it, the water's going to go away and onto the ground. But the chips will stay moist, and they'll keep that potato moist. And not drown it, is what I'm trying to say. All right, everyone, I hope you can see how easy it is to plant in a Back to Eden garden. Weeding is super simple. I mean, you won't have nowhere near the amount of weeds that you would in your traditional garden, your till garden. I just had a few patches here and there. I pulled those out, and other areas I just got the rake, dug underneath, and pulled it out, and they're very simple to take out. And as far as the potatoes, you see how easy that is. Just move the chips out of the way until you hit the ground. Put your potato in there and make sure the sprouts are pointing up. All right, and then cover it back up, water it, and you're good to go. So back to Eaton Garden, if you're getting 1 or 2 rains a week, you really shouldn't have to water your garden. Here in Texas, we can have all summer, pretty much at least 2 months, pretty close to 2 months without any rain, and it gets pretty bad. But the nice thing about this, I only have to water some of the things out here maybe once a week, so it's not that bad. So anyways, hope you learned something about planting potatoes in a back to Eaton garden, and you've seen how easy it is to get ready. So guys, please like and subscribe, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.